So, hi Zoe. We set up this Facebook group a couple of weeks ago now, looking at sustainability and aesthetics. And partly this was because of some of the stuff that you've been doing in your clinic and business over the last 2 or 3 years. But particularly what I wanted to do was to talk about skincare, because obviously you run a skincare clinic, it's really important for you. And I know that you had a real sort of, I suppose, a point that was made it difficult for you to kind of look at promoting a particular skincare brand that you used for the last 3 years, and it was revolving around sustainability issues. So you want to just go through that a little bit and look at what was the issue with the brand that you've been using?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously this whole issue has been something that's always been there, but it's definitely becoming more relevant and something I'm trying to push in my own personal life. And I wanted to pass this into what I'm doing as business as well, because, it's what I believe in. So I went back to the company a couple of years ago, went to my local rep and explained my concerns, which the main ones were every single product was being sent in an individual single-use plastic bag, which just didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
All of the packaging, it's all pretty, it's all like silvery and shiny, but that's not recyclable. And all the actual products, like the product packaging, the dispensers, none of that was recyclable. So but when I'm thinking about the masses of volume of products that we're selling and the amount of waste that is getting thrown away, it just didn't make any sense to me. So I went back to the company and said, like, look, could we even do something as little as just not have every single product in a plastic bag? And didn't really get much response. So then in the November lockdown, I actually kept every single plastic bag that was done, like that we used. It was like a big box full. And I sent it back to the company. Still no feedback from them. I just feel, this is just me, one very small clinic during lockdown. So I just didn't feel like there was any excuse to not have something that's more sustainable. Just it's something as little as just making it recyclable. I know it's not like the golden thing. There's so much more that needs to be done, but that's the bare minimum. So the fact that they couldn't even do that just didn't reflect against my values, really.
Yeah. And of course, this is something that's in your control, because at the end of the day, you're putting your hard-earned money into another supplier's pockets or whatever. So take me through the process of looking at, I suppose, the alternatives that you came up with.
Yeah, so it was really important to me to obviously, a results-driven clinic. So it was really important to still have really high grade ingredients, clinical studies backing, find really high grade skincare, but also that shared these same sorts of values. So it was mainly through research, actually through talking to the companies and saying, these are my concerns with other brands and what are you doing? And just being able to have that, the fact that they were open to have that conversation of, hey, this is what I'm concerned about, like, what are you doing? Because I'm having the same, conversations with my customers. People are asking these questions of what are you doing to be more sustainable? So yeah, I did a lot of research really, and I've come up with a couple of really good brands that I'm very happy with now.
Good. I know you've been through that process of changing over, which obviously is very difficult, especially when you've got clients established on a particular brand and they're comfortable with it and it's working for their skin. So just take me through the process of how you approach that.
Yeah, and to be honest, that was the thing that really it stopped me. I wanted to do this for a couple of years, but it really stopped me because it's like we sell so much, but I had to look at it from a business perspective as well. We made a lot of money from it. People really, really did like the brand. So I was just really open and honest in the end, and went out on my social media and said, hey, these are my concerns. I've tried my hardest to talk to the company and get them to make changes. They don't seem interested in changing, and this just doesn't reflect how I feel and how I want to go forward as a business. And I was a bit concerned, but actually the outreach back has been so positive. Just because of being so open and honest, and when I'm explaining the reasons behind it, people are like, yeah, totally get it. First thing I did was obviously tried out the skincare myself. I've done lots of videos to show, hey, I'm using this, I've made this change. I have been really happy with it. Here are some of my favorite products. When people have been coming in, I've been giving them samples and testers and like, hey, this is the thing you've been using, here's an alternative. But in the worst case scenarios, if we've got people that are like, I only want to stick to this brand. I don't want to change it all. We are still keeping a couple of things in stock for people if they do still want to buy it. But it's been largely everyone just moving over to the new products.
Wow.
It's been a lot easier than I expected it to be, and actually people are really, really happy with the new things and the changes they're getting.
Yeah.
I think actually people really like that, trying new things and getting to figure out some new ingredients and seeing changes in their skin. So yeah, I was really concerned by it, but it's been largely positive, to be honest.
Good. And out of those people that changed across, have you had any issues in terms of the performance of the product and having to manage that?
No, not at all. And that was the thing really why the research behind it was so important to me.
Yeah.
So I tried out quite a few brands. I was like, hey, can I buy a few products and try it out myself? And had really, really been impressed with the level of ingredients, the level of backing in terms of the science behind it, and using the products myself as well. I've seen massive changes in my skin.
Yeah.
So I knew my customers would see the same thing. So yeah, everyone's been really, really happy. It's been a lot easier than I expected it to be, I think.
That's brilliant. Okay, well, thanks, Zoe. I mean, I know it is a massive thing when you're running a clinic and you've got a lot of patients or clients on a particular form of skincare to actually change them across purely on really a sustainable argument. And I take my hat off to you for actually doing that and actually going through that process, because you felt was the right thing to do. And it was really, what I thought was really interesting was how many people have kind of come across with that and how that's resonated with people. So hopefully, if you're in a similar situation out there and you're kind of thinking that the brand that you're using doesn't really fit in with you from a sustainability point of view, then take a little bit of confidence in what Zoe's done. It's not going to be easy, but if you go through the process in the right way and you're very open in terms of communicating it, then it's perfectly doable and probably will really resonate with your customers. So thanks, Zoe. Okay.